Muslims who leave Islam face death in many Arab countries. Some feel unsafe even here in the United States. So when the Council on American Islamic Relations, a controversial NGO better known as CAIR, threw a comedy bash called A Summer Night for Civil Rights without addressing any of these real human rights issues, some of America's most outspoken former Muslims didn't find it very funny and threw a counter-conference that same night to say so.
What we are doing is pointing out the human rights abuses that are inherent in Islamic law.
That was Robert Spencer, a co-founder of the American Freedom Defense Initiative, a group that joined with Former Muslims United to expose what they view as outright hypocrisy.
There are several CAIR officials who have been arrested and convicted on various terrorism-related charges. CAIR has opposed every anti-terror law that has ever been proposed anywhere and has advised its members not to cooperate with law enforcement. So the idea that this is some sort of a moderate, neutral civil rights organization is completely fanciful and designed to fool people and lull them into complacency.
The CAIR Comedy Night intended to draw attention to what they view as growing Islamophobia in the United States.
Islamophobia, which is a concept that was invented by the Muslim Brotherhood in order to intimidate people into thinking that there's something wrong or bigoted about resisting Islamic jihad and Islamic supremacism.
They dedicated their counter-conference to Pastor Youssef Nadarkhani, an Iranian man sentenced to death for converting away from Islam.
Nobody's talking about him. Where are the Muslim organizations that call themselves civil rights and human rights organizations in America? Why don't they fight for the human rights of this man?
They won't discuss any of the hard questions. They're certain not to mention Pastor Youssef Nadarkhani or any of the civil rights and human rights abuses that are inherent in Islamic law. The death penalty for apostasy, polygamy, genital mutilation for women, honor killing, all these things that are sanctioned in Islamic law, not to mention the intrinsic Islamic anti-Semitism that's deeply embedded in the Quran and Sunnah, not to mention the doctrines of warfare against unbelievers. CAIR just hopes you don't notice any of that and enjoy the party.
But the former Muslims in attendance that night have noticed and were speaking out to alert others.
I became a Christian, I came to Turkey, and Turkey is supposed to be the modern Islamic country. I was arrested 5 times because I told people about Jesus by Turkish government.
I cannot visit my country of origin anymore, Egypt. I cannot visit any Muslim country because according to Islam, I must be killed, and any Muslim who kills me will be forgiven. They will not be prosecuted. That's Sharia law.
They grabbed me, everybody, and one of them said, let's like take his head off. One of them was behind me and he stabbed me from behind. So when they saw the blood, I fell on the floor. They started stabbing me. I have like 4 times in this area and my legs.
These stories don't just happen in the Middle East. Amani Mustafa escaped from Egypt expecting to live freely as a Christian. Instead, her husband had his family follow her to the United States.
He had enough power to actually pull strings to bring people into the United States to come after me. He told me that he is going to take the kids back and I will pay the price. Shortly after, my phone was tapped. My mother's phone was tapped. My mother was chased on the highway and almost killed, and threats kept coming, and I was advised to leave. Altogether, we were in hiding about 10 years.
Dr. Rahuma, former dean of the University of Minya in Egypt, say Westerners need to be educated about the realities of Islam.
Because Islam is a state and a religion. It is not just a religion in mosque or something, no. The Quran here translated to American, to Western countries. They changes the words. They changes the meaning. They make like a brainwash for our student, American.
When I came to America, and I still considered myself a Muslim, when I went to a mosque here in America in the early 80s, I was told, don't assimilate in America because we're here to Islamize America.
We need to educate our government, our police, our FBI, our churches.
Being so outspoken, these speakers are frequently accused of bigotry and Islamophobia.
They call us Islamophobes, unfortunately, in America, because we speak against a religion that condemns us to death. And all the Muslim groups are silent and defensive.
We have many women that need to be hidden the way I was in the United States. Honor killing happens in the United States. And the political correctness, it means that you don't speak about what's wrong, even if that wrong thing is going to really ruin your land, your home, your country.
America should be very afraid by Sharia, and we should never welcome it in our country. We must do everything we can to make it illegal.
Open our voices loud and clear for Americans to say this is your chance to stand up and defend your country.
CAIR did not return JN1's interview requests, but these brave former Muslims hope to inspire and motivate other Muslims to join them to ensure that human rights prevail over Islamic law here in the United States and anywhere else in the world. For JN1 in Los Angeles, I'm Lara Berman.